first have to start doing that. So now we're recording. And we're set up to keep recording when I'm done. So just very briefly, this is now the 5th interview we've done with one of our Alliance doctors. Have to have with his son.
You're breaking up a little bit.
You hear me?
No, the thing was breaking up.
Okay, I'm breaking.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I'll get off. I'll get off quick, but I'll let you then introduce yourselves, and I'll just let you get to it. It'll probably get faster once I leave, is my guess. All right, take care.
Okay, thank you. Komi, can you, do I have audio and video with you? Can you hear me okay, see me okay?
Yes. Yeah, I can hear you and everything. It's fine.
Okay, yeah. And you're sounding real good yourself. My name is Don Cole, and I'm a member of the Alliance for Doctoral Studies in Mathematics, and I've been with the Alliance for a good while, and I've had opportunity to even meet you before. And we've been setting up these interviews and hope that we could eventually put them online for other people to view. And in the process, we want to get your perspectives as well as your experiences concerning how you got to the point where you are now in life. And so to bring out some of that, I'll ask a few questions that will be easily answerable, and then I'll ask some that are open-ended. And the whole thing should take no more than an hour, but I want you to sit back and relax and think, and don't worry about any time restraints, because I'm not on any. And as you kind of answer these questions, is that all right?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, very good. Okay, so to get things started, why don't you, give me your full name and maybe a kind of a little mathematical chronological timeline on yourself and where you were born, where you came from, where you grew up, and the schools that you attended up to your terminal degree.
Yeah, thank you. First, thank you for this interview. It's my pleasure to share my experiences as well as like the path. If other people can see it and it can enlighten their path, or maybe make them make a wiser decision, I'm happy. I'm happy to be a part of this. And I'm happy to assist the Math Alliance for all that they do for everyone to attend their doctoral path or educational path. My name is Komi Messan. I am originally from Togo. Togo is a country in West Africa. That's where I did my almost K through 12. I say almost because while I was in my senior year in high school, I moved to Greensboro, North Carolina, where I got my high school diploma from in Dudley Benson High School. And upon completing my high school education, I was not sure what I wanted to do. I wanted to do engineering. That's what was in my head. No, particularly because I like to design anything, but I heard the salary can be good. So that was my reason of wanting to go into engineering. So I went to North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University to talk to like a few faculties in the engineering department to see, okay, what are the options? And they told me, okay, you just need to get like a good SAT score, and then we can talk. And I also went to UNCG, University of North Carolina, Greensboro, to see what are the possibilities. And finally, I decided to go to A&T, North Carolina A&T. And I went there to be first because they accepted me into like the mathematics program, not the engineering program, but they accepted me for the mathematics program. And this was because of my SAT, the math was really good, and the other things were not like so good. So they automatically classify me as, okay, go into the math program, but if you do well in the math program, then you can still switch, because first year and second year, we all take the same courses anyway. So it doesn't matter if you start as a mathematics student. And that's where I started. And how I stick into mathematics, and I think we can talk more about that in this interview. But
Okay.
then I got my master also from North Carolina A&T, and went to do my doctoral education at Arizona State University. And that's where I got my PhD from. And currently I am working at the National Institute of Health.
Oh, okay, okay. Very lucrative career for such a young age. And congratulations on all those accomplishments.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Let's talk just for a moment, if you will, because sponsoring these interviews is the Math Alliance. And so let's talk about your experience with the Alliance and some of the names that you remember when you think back, and that word is mentioned, the Field of Dreams and other conferences and activities that you've been associated with. What are some of the things that comes to mind about the Alliance, and how has it played any role in your success?
Yes, so when I was finishing my graduate education at North Carolina A&T, by graduate education, I mean my master. I was in the middle of my master, kind of finishing from my undergraduate, actually from my senior year undergraduate all the way to like, the master. I was not sure what school I wanted to go. I wasn't sure about the what I wanted to do after. Uh, but one thing I had, one opportunity I had was to participate in the Field of Dream conference, and I talked to several faculties, from this. I could remember very well. I talked to Philip Kuso from Iowa, and we talked about my experiences and what I wanted to do. And very often, the advice I got from the Field of Dreams and those conferences was how to succeed in graduate school, the importance of graduate school in today's world. Because we tend to think sometimes that getting a graduate degree, you may be overqualified. That was a myth that was going around, that you may be overqualified. So it's better to just use at most your master to get a job. But through these conferences, I first gained the understanding that no, as everyone is getting their bachelor, a lot of people are being more educated. It's crucial for you to have a higher degree, to have more opportunity, and other doors may open to you. That was one of the first things I learned through these conferences from various uh, leaders and faculties from different universities who were able to like assist in this program. And the second thing that I learned was how to succeed. What are the most important things that are crucial to succeed in graduate school? And I kind of already expected this since I learned it from the Field of Dreams and from the Math Alliance program. The graduate school PhD is going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be tough. And you will deal with crazy advisor, crazy faculties. And all of that kind of put me into like the mindset that will allow you to succeed. So when I got to I got to Arizona State University, and things were becoming hard, things were becoming difficult. I remember all those advices, and I knew that, okay, it was gonna be hard. And now it's becoming hard. I kind of have the idea what I was getting myself into.
Mm.
And also, the other thing that I gained from this is how to pick your advisor, how to test like your advisor and
Yeah.
work with like different people, do like a small project. And through this small project, you can see which advisor, maybe you are more compatible. Not necessarily the advisor is bad, but someone you are more compatible with, someone you can work better with. That was one of like the most influential thing that I think I learned from the Math Alliance, which allowed me to pick a fantastic advisor that got me to finish my degree in 4.5 years. So
Oh,
those are like the three things. To summarize it, the first thing was seeing like the difficulty, knowing, expecting like the difficulty. This second thing is getting the clear idea that graduate school is not just for people who may end up being overqualified, but it's a necessary thing in today's world. And the third thing is how to pick your mentor or your dissertation advisor.
oh, Komi, you said it all. Oh, thank you so very much for sharing that with us. That's going to be very, 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 very valuable to lots and lots of people. What's your area of math, by the way? What's your area that you study?
Applied mathematics, focusing on dynamical system.
Okay, okay, very, very, very good, very good. Close to me, I'm a PDE man, so
Okay, all right.
some of that, yeah. And so with that, with those accomplishments, and now a terminal degree in mathematics and whatnot, boy, you must really, really, really be a genius. How do you react to that when people say that to you?
So yeah, especially in mathematics, people tend to say those things. I often say to those something along the line of what Einstein said. There are two types of geniuses. There are people that are naturally born with the ability to just comprehend everything and do them very, very well. And there are those that are born not having that ability, not being a part of that 1% that are born just knowing everything. But those that work hard to get to that level. And when you see them, they also seem to look like those 1%. And I tend to tell people, I don't know if I'm part of the 1%, but what I know is that where I am today, I had to work very hard for it, especially being in mathematics. In mathematics, it takes a lot of practice. So I had to do a lot of that practice. I had to work very hard. I had to keep working at things. Things don't necessarily come easy. Certain things come easier than others, and those that don't come easier, I had to work really hard. And I remember back in college when I was taking calculus, differential equation, I had a professor named Dr. Dominic Clemens, who gave a lot of homework. And the professor would give pages of homework. And the idea he has was if you do so much of the problem, if you solve so much of the problem, then you will get to the level where you don't even need to solve it. When you see the problem, you will know the solution. And by solving this problem, some people didn't want to do it. Some students didn't do it. Some of us, we actually spend all night solving this problem and doing all the homework. And then when we come to class, when they write a problem on the board, automatically, because these were an integration and these were derivative and those type of things, and because we have solved similar problems so many times, that by looking at the problem, we can give you the answer. And when people see that, they call us genius. They say, oh, this guy is a genius. But that came out of practice. So I think this applies to everything else. Working hard on things will make you look like that genius. You can transform yourself into that genius. So that's what I tend to explain to people. No matter where you are in life, or no matter what you know now it doesn't define your future. It doesn't define whether or not you are a genius or you are not a genius. If you want to become that genius that everybody think of, you can. Everyone have that opportunity. It would take like a more effort from some people than other, but everyone has their ability to reach their level of become a genius. I mean, at least in the view of other people. So that's my answer to like that question.
Oh, thank you so very much. These questions you hadn't heard before, but I tell you, you're answering as if you've already written the script out for them. Yes, I think you really have the key, you know, that being a genius is 90% hard work. You know, the rest of it, ingenuity, luck, and everything else. But that hard work is so important.
Yeah.
And everybody can work hard. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me maybe ask a little personal question here, and if you feel comfortable in answering, go right ahead. And if you don't, then that's okay. We can go to the next question. But I wondered if you can give me an instance or a couple of instances in which you were somehow mathematically devastated in your career. Somehow you were about ready to give up and couldn't see how you could go on, and etc. And then on the other hand, give me a time for which you proved you were just very proud moment that you've achieved something mathematically that sort of made you proud. So those two extremes, from one extreme from which you were devastated, wanting to give up, to another extreme for which you were very, very proud of something that you've accomplished.
Yeah, of course. On the negative side, well, I don't know if I will call it negative because everything in life contributes to like where I am today.
Yeah.
So I remember very well when I was taking courses like real analysis, when I was taking modern or abstract algebra, and those like theory, my first kind of like a theory proof-based math courses. It wasn't always easy to understand those topics. You kind of have to develop different mindset. And in the beginning, I struggled a lot in those courses. In some of like the tests or quiz we got, I actually flunked those. I flunked the test. And at those times, it seems like, no, I should have really major in engineering because they do things like the type of proof they do that I see in some of the courses. I felt that I could do better in those. So when those difficult times came, I was saying I was a little devastated, but I would not say that it got me to the level where I decided to quit. I never decided to quit because I was surrounded by good, I was in a good environment. I was surrounded by good faculties who were sending me to conferences, who were sending me to different workshop, like Field of Dream conference. I was going to like those places and I was meeting people who have also struggled. And then those people were honest with me. Those people were able to tell me, no, I'm a full professor today, but I flunked this course myself. I flunked this. I wasn't able to do well in this. So knowing those experiences, like hearing those experiences, oh, this professor that I think, or I believe this professor is a genius, has also flunked this course. Because of that, even though I was devastated, it never got to my mind that I wanted to quit, but rather I understood that this is a part of the process. This may be hard, but it's a necessary part of the process to reach my objective. So because of that, I never really gave up. I just get a little emotional or devastated temporary, and then I move past that. Now, where does this perseverance, let me, I will talk about the second part of your question.
Sure.
In my doctoral program, I believe this was my second year. I was creating some type of algorithm to solve, to do like a bifurcation analysis. And the approach that I was using that I learned from my mentor was not working. And I went to my advisor. I asked the question to like, this does not work. Like the thing that you told me, the thing that I learned from you, the approach is not working. And the answer I got was, yeah, you need to figure out like a smart way of doing it. That way it's not gonna work. Of course, go figure it out. So that was that. That was that. And it took me some time. I had to talk to like other faculty. I had to talk to people. I had kept learning, reading like a papers and things. But after 4 months, I was able to figure this out and successfully publish a paper on this topic. So I think it was one of the success I can remember well in my graduate program of taking so long to solve a problem, but then finally it led to like a something fruitful. It led to like, something that I'm proud of because I worked hard on it and I was able to accomplish it.
Oh, great. Just great. I tell you, if you could do it all again, what would you do differently?
If I do it all again, if I will not change a thing about my experience. I would participate in the same program. I would be a part of like the same group. I join like several groups, go to like more conferences. But most importantly, what I will add to my experience, not take anything away, but add to my experience is I would double major, mathematics and computer science.
Computer science. Okay.
That's what I would have done. Add computer science, at least as a minor to the mathematics.
Nice.
That would have been, yeah.
Okay. I happen to have been a double major in undergraduate math and physics.
Okay, all right.
Right. Yeah. And I didn't feel as if I was as solid in physics as I was in mathematics, and so that's why I kind of went on in math. But I definitely understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Komi, it's our hope that a number of people see these interviews, and I can imagine some youngster who's 12 years old watching it. I can imagine someone who's 18 years old watching it. I can imagine the college student watching it, and all who might have some interest in mathematics or interested in a career in mathematics. So if you think about those age groups and those categories of people who might possibly be watching this interview, what would you say to them if they aspire to have a career in mathematics?
I would say this may sound a little more like I'm biased. I would say it's totally worth it. But then I will give this example. As a person who have a degree in applied mathematics, and more precisely focusing on dynamical system, that's what I spent years working on, modeling different type of behavior. What I learned was not just about the mathematics, but I developed my quantitative mind. What that implies is nowadays, I can use this type of skill to study anything in life. My dissertation, my work that I have done, it focused on biological system. That's what I have studied. But from that, I took that, and currently my position is a data science position. I'm studying things that had nothing to do with biology. I'm looking at things that are in finance. I'm looking at things that are in economic. I'm looking at things that are like in different area, completely different area that has nothing to do with like anything I learned at school, or more like learn directly. And I would say this is because of the mathematics skills that I have developed. I can read those papers. I can read like other approaches. I can read like the statistic paper. My degree was not in statistics, but I can read those papers and say, oh, okay, they are doing this analysis. Okay, I see what they are doing. That it makes sense to me. It's clear because I spent time developing like nurturing their mathematical skill. So because of that, it feels more like I'm ready. I'm now ready. I don't know everything, but I have the key to gain other skills, to easily learn other things. So for anyone who is aspiring to become a mathematician, or for those kids out there that are thinking, I'm not sure what I want to do. Sometimes I think about, I want to be a doctor. Sometimes I think about, I want to be this or that. I think getting the foundation solid, getting a solid foundation is crucial for like everything else. So if you were to focus on the mathematics and then you get the foundation like a solid, like me today, I'm doing like a lot of other things that are not directly related to what I learned at school. You also will be able to do those things. You also be like able to, like, it will open door for you to do like whatever it is that you want to do later in life. That will be like my my answer or my advice to all those people out there.
And that would be terribly good advice. uh, Komi, you have lots of accolades that you've achieved, and you have a number of degrees with your name on it and with the term mathematics on it as well, and you're a professional mathematician now. As you think back, can you think of a time or two for which you first realized that you become a mathematician?
Because mathematics is so vast.
Very.
And this other people may feel different about this question, but because mathematics is so vast and there are so different areas of mathematics, every day I think of myself as I'm becoming a better mathematician. I don't know for like a specific day, even like after getting like my doctorate degree, I don't know if I would say, oh, this is when I became like a mathematician. But since my undergraduate, having the love and the passion to do mathematics, I knew, okay, that made me a mathematician. But then I think of it as it's a lifelong process, and every day, from my learning, from my the project that I do, or even like helping people with like other mathematics. Because when I help people, I learn like different approach. I'm becoming a mathematician every day. So I think of it more as a process rather than a pinpoint that, okay, this is when I become a mathematician. Rather, if I'm not sure if I answered the question, but that's my experience.
Oh, you answered. That's a beautiful answer that you gave. You're always kind of becoming. And you said something else that I'd like to explore just for a moment, and that is the vastness of mathematics, because people will often think that a mathematician is good at and just loves every aspect of mathematics, but there are some areas of math that that you just like a little better than others. Have you experienced that yourself? I'm sure you have.
Yes, I have. And it kept changing throughout the years. Uh, and that's probably because of the type of project I'm working on. As I'm working on something that require like a different skills, I tend to like that thing more. I'm one of those people. I don't like to be a hammer and look at everything else as a nail. What I mean by that is I don't necessarily prefer using like the same tools to solve every problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I look at the problem, and when I look at the problem, I ask myself, what are the tools that are needed to solve this problem? And if I already have the tool, I use it. If I don't, I go learn it.
Yes.
And I like to learn. So because of like that passion of learning, I tend to like discover like a different area of math. And as I'm discovering like a different area, I tend to be falling in love with like, different area and liking different aspect of math. But I'm not even gonna say at this point I have covered like 10% of the math that is it because it's yeah, like we just say it's so vast that you can spend your whole life dipping yourself in one area and even like it never ends in that area. So yeah.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Come give me a little more insight on you. Tell me about where you where you grew up, um, and also now that you are a professional mathematician, um, and you come from a community, and now you probably within a totally different community. And about those two worlds, and how do you bridge those together, and how do you take one to compensate and help the other, etc.
Yeah. So uh as I mentioned in the beginning, I moved to North Carolina, Greensboro, to complete my high school education. And that's where I did my undergraduate at North Carolina A&T. That's where kind of like I spent most of my educational career. Because I spent uh,
Mm-hmm.
2 years in high school and then 6 years, like 4 years undergraduate, 2 years like a master. And that was going to like a North Carolina A&T, which is a HBCU. And I felt a sense of a community while I was going there. And all the faculties were always eager to help or provide advice or suggestion. Uh, so that helped a lot to achieve like my objective and leave and go get my doctoral degree. And now that I am uh, on the professional side, not anymore a student on the professional side, I tend to uh, also extend myself to other people, just like other have helped me reach my objective. I try to do the same by extending my hand to like other smaller community through different various social network. And nowadays, things are good that we don't have to necessarily be in the location physically to help because of the a lot of digital platform. We have LinkedIn, we have a lot of things. So I tend to like mentor different students from minority institution through LinkedIn and help them provide advice how they can achieve their objective, how they can achieve their goal in different area of their career as much as I can. So by doing so, I feel like I'm still a part of that small community that helped me get where I am. even though I'm not in that community physically. I feel like I'm still a part of that community by talking to those people and helping as much as I can.
Thank you. And thank you for your work and for your help. I think it would probably be amiss if I didn't perhaps say something about this next open-ended comment that I'd like to pose to you and get a little analysis on. But in light of today's social climate and the national debate over the death of George Floyd and the police brutality that we are facing right as we speak, and also in light of the fact that you are now a professional mathematician, then I'd like for you to maybe comment on today's social crisis and somehow bring in your background as a mathematician or how math somehow fits off into this or how it grounds you in certain ways. But just kind of speak to the kind of the social climate as related to your being a professional mathematician.
Yeah, I'll be happy to talk about that. Yeah, it's unfortunate what we are going through as a country. I'm not gonna say like it is now that we are going through. I mean, this is nothing new. This has been happening for ages. It's just now that with the development or evolution of technology, we are able to see these things. And because we are able to see these things, we are more talking about it. So I think it is a sad moment. It's a sad to see these type of things, but at the same time, I have hope because we are talking about it. The fact that we are talking about it means that it's gonna end. It may not end today, it may not end in our lifetime, but everybody is coming together so we can solve this issue. As someone in education first, someone who value higher education, I think a lot of these issues are based, are rooted on not knowing. And if that is true, if my hypothesis is true, then that means a lot of these can be solved through education, by educating directly and indirectly. So what I mean by this, the education is, I believe our education system, there need to be like a little reform on the education system so we can learn about other culture, we can learn about other race, and we can learn about other things. So it can open our mind to diversity, because we understand that diversity it always leads to success. And I believe through education, we can achieve that. If we can bring everyone together and we can truly learn where everyone is coming from, that would be like, a good way to start solving like, this issue. Especially with like a police brutality. A lot of people talk about this. I'm not the first one to mention this. Better training to like, our police officers. So things like, biases, we can reduce them in different places. And as someone in mathematics or more like a quantitative discipline as a whole, I think another way we can do this is not stay quiet, but rather extend our hand through the work that we do. What about we provide more facts? As we can see, there are a lot of rumors and things that are out there that are not necessarily the truth. So if we as a mathematician or statistician or physicist, or we can come together and devote a little more time to kind of like a study this thing, clear like, what's true and what's not true. And I believe we have the ability to do this type of things, and provide like, this type of result, or provide this through conferences and different things. We can provide like this. It will allow people to distinguish between what's a fact and what's not fact. And an answer to this, and like one good example to this would be, what are the impact of diversity? How does diversity promote advancement in different organizations? If we can show for a fact through data analysis, quantitative analysis, that this is actually beneficial, then I believe that other people, even if they may not want to, because they want like the growth, they want like the development of the company, they will start seeing things for what they are and slowly opening their mind to like the idea of welcoming like others, or more like an open opportunity for like other folks. I think that's one of the ways we as mathematicians or quantitative scientists can help in this fight to alleviate all the darkness that are going around.
Oh yes, thank you for that response. As you were talking, this kind of remind me. We often get all but some unsolvable mathematical problems that we work on, and what we do is to break them down into cases. What we do is to look at different scenarios concerning them. And your approach as you were talking sort of reminded me of the big problem that we have. And so we might not see the whole of the solution, but we take a certain case of it. We break it down, if you will, and work on it in parts. And so that's what mathematicians do. And so mathematicians can take the same process and sort of work on it from a social aspect of it. So that's what I heard you say, and I appreciate your comments on it.
Yeah.
In talking with you over the last few minutes, I've learned a little bit about your past, and I know what you're sort of doing currently. But give me a little glimpse of Komi futuristically. What would he be doing, or like to be doing 10 or 15 years from now? Where will the future lead him?
Yeah, so how I got to where I am, a lot of it have to do with what I'm enjoying doing. I would not say I know for a fact before, like a few years ago, that I wanted to work at one of the larger institutes in the country or in the world. But I just kept doing what I was enjoying. And in the future, where would I be? I think my approach, or the way I do things, I will continue doing things that way. I tend to drift toward like what I'm enjoying doing, because I believe success is when you are happy. That's what success is, at least to me. So I'm not 100% sure what the next 10 or 15 years will be like. But what I hope for is continue doing what I love to do, so that can lead me. That path can lead me like whatever that is. But I hope to continue doing mathematics, or at least helping other people to learn and grow in that aspect or in other quantitative discipline. That's what I hope for. But I'll continue doing like what I love to do.
Oh, I like that, and I wanted to iterate that part. I heard that loud and clear, and I think that's so important. What you love to do, and part of success is being happy as opposed to being financially astute. So in light of that, it sort of begs this question. You've kind of chosen the academics as a career, and I'm sure that there would be industry who would love to exploit your talent. There would be some businesses that love to exploit your talent as well. So why have you chosen academics? What are some of the joys of academics over some of the other areas that could be a lot more financially lucrative?
So actually, I would say I'm not in academia. I work for but the question you asked is still very valid. It's still very valid. I work for the government. After I got my degree, I worked for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers for some time, and then after working for the U.S. Corps, and now I'm currently working for the National Institute for Allergy and Infectious Disease, one of the 27 institutes of the National Institute of Health. It's true that with my mathematical degree and mathematical ability, I could have gone into a financial or more like a private institute. And I would probably be more financially stable or make more in terms of like a finances if I was to go to like a private company. I will compare academic finances, academic financial reward similar to government. It's not as comparable to what private companies give. But then the question is, that's what I meant by the question is still valid. Why did I choose to go into government instead of going for like a private company where I can make a whole lot of money? And I would say I wanted to, as I mentioned before, I like to do something that make me happy. I like to be a part of the solution. I want to play a role in the bigger thing to solve the problem. And I value every company. Every company is doing the best. And in that regard, I knew that I didn't want to go into private industry. Since a lot of private industry, their objective is to maximize profit for the company. And I wanted to like do more. So it narrowed that down for me to two things, either academia or government.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to, so I thought about it, like which one would I prefer the most? And at the same time, I like doing research. Research is my passion. That's what I enjoy the most. I do like teaching. I had the opportunity to be in the classroom, and I thought before it was fun. But then when I'm doing research, I saw myself enjoying that more. So because of that, again, it narrowed things down to like government. So I start looking into a position where I can be provided with that opportunity to fully engage myself in research and just keep doing research. That was the main reason why I chose government. And at the same time, I chose that because I wanted to do something that's bigger than myself, solve problems that are bigger than myself. And indeed, what I'm doing and what I have been doing, I saw that I was solving problems, and I collaborated with people and still collaborate with people in academia, solving like those big problems because you cannot do it by yourself. So even though I'm not in the classroom, I'm not teaching because that's not what I wanted to do. I value a lot of contribution that I have with my collaborator all over the country and in other like area. That's the reason why I chose like what I'm doing, to be a part of a bigger thing and not just working for myself, but working for like a humanity as a whole.
Yes. Oh, I tell you what, Komi, let me just thank you for the time that you've kind of taken for this interview. You've have a remarkable career that you've achieved thus far. And the Alliance are so proud of you. You're the type of individuals that we wanted to recruit and then see go out and have success. And you've just done them all for that. And this interview is going to help so many people. So I want to thank you for taking the time out to do this. We recognize that your insight is what we want to get others to be able to see at the earliest age. And so you're so young to have a terminal degree and on your way to doing great things until you probably say, oh well, I can see a mistake or two that I've made, but I can't really see it from the outside. And so we want to use this to kind of encourage others. So we just kind of thank you. And I certainly look forward to kind of following your career along and seeing where you are 10, 15, 20 years from now. So thank you for being a part of the Alliance and for helping the Alliance in this effort.
Yeah, thank you very much. I really appreciate all that the Alliance has been doing and continue to do. I think these things are tremendously helpful. As I mentioned earlier, without these efforts to reach out to especially minorities like in different institutes that may never get like the opportunity or get a chance to talk to like a certain people, to talk to hear certain things, certain things that are crucial to reach our objective. Without group like the MEF Alliance, we will not reach there. So I thank you and everyone else, the whole team, for the work that they keep doing, the work that they have been doing. So a lot of people can also see like an opportunity that are not available, that may not be available to them. So thank you very much for all that you do.
Okay, thank you again. And you go and you have yourself a great day.
Thank you, you too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.